So yeah, I miss live TV a lot, and there is a extra thing that gets created when performer and audience are together. Do you get itchy when you haven't gigged for a while?
Like itchy?
Itchy, you're like, I've got to get in front of a crowd. I can't wait to do this in front of people. I want to see this drop on a crowd. I want to see what happens when people sing along with this.
Oh man, I feel like I had my comfort zone on stage from a very young age, from just entering rap battle competitions when I was like 15. So when I started performing proper shows when I was like 18 or 19 and that, I loved it. Like I was in my element up there. But then when I did all the partying and just went through the addiction phase for so long, once I got on the other side of that, it was like all that comfort zone had shrunk to my house. So like stepping out of that was really difficult, and I felt like I was beginning again, which was brutal, man.
Oh yeah.
That's been really difficult to get past that kind of feeling like I need a crutch, like I just want to have a drink to like,
oh yeah,
to just calm me down and drop my wall.
Oh man,
because I'm so stiff, man.
There's an entire phase of my career that was before I got sober, and an entire phase of career after I got sober, and I have now worked all the down regulation, all the relaxation stuff into what it is that I do. So I don't have to think, oh, I need to take a breath here. It just happens. All right. An example would be, and people would know this if they've watched any like Morning Wars or whatever, someone goes there 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and they point at you. So what I'll do is I'll take a big breath somewhere around 7 and I'll hold it for 3 or 4 and I'll slowly start releasing it onto 1 because I know there's a big boom shot wide and then there's probably another shot and then I've probably got 5 more seconds and then I'll breathe in again. I breathe in again when we get to 0, knowing that by the time I breathe out, and I do that every time.
So is that instinctive now? So you don't even think like, okay, 7's coming up.
It just happens.
Wow.
It just happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating, man. That's very interesting.
The last time I was on Q&A, you can clearly see me do it like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, but no one knows what they're looking at if they don't see it. But you can see me actively doing it, like when other people are talking or when the host was asking me a question. As a part of the listening, I am doing this particular kind of breath just to keep that regulation down. I'm not out in the wind. Like I am here because of polypharmaceuticals and I'm grateful for it. But without the breathing, I'd have to be probably on a lot heavier artillery, which I'm grateful I don't have to be.
Were you drinking before going on TV?
Nah.
Or anything
I couldn't
like
do that. Oh, there was some backstage times at festivals and arias and things like that where beers were around, but I didn't like it. I didn't like not having that sharpness because what I liked was the stimulation.
That was the drug.
Yeah. Well, it was the focus that I was chasing. We've since discovered why, you know, and then a lot more things make sense as to why I chose the career I chose and why, you know, dealing with 14 cameras and pyrotechnics and 800 people and, you know, crying, you know, contestants and such felt like the calmest thing in the world. Yeah, because I've got a busy brain that likes to be involved. And so, no, but afterwards that was, and I don't, you know, you could probably relate to this. It was, what do I do? When you get off air at 9:32 or 9:31, what do you do? Like I was oscillating at such a clip. I'd just be like gritting my teeth. Like, of course, I ended up where I was and doing what I was doing until 2, 3 in the morning just to try to
bring yourself down.
Bring myself down, yeah. There's much better ways to do it, much cleaner ways to do it.
What are you doing now instead of that?
Well, I train and I have a sauna in my backyard, which is the greatest thing ever. And I do a lot of breathing.
Is that like breath work? Like
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever works in the moment. Sometimes it's progressive muscle relaxations and things like that. It all serves to keep me operating within a window of tolerance where I'm not making choices based in fear, hopefully. But learning how to do it again, learning how to get out of the house again was hard. You know, I'm sure you've had that experience. When you're trying to go out without your beer blanket around you, it's hard.
Oh yeah, you just want to withdraw from everything.
Well, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. And have to learn how to do it again.
How long was your journey on the I guess the addiction side?
Oh man,
of
well I've
things?
been blackout drinking since I was 14.
Whoa.
I was 22 when people started fairly regularly saying, what are you doing to yourself, mate? Do
Right.
you really want to, what's happening here? And I just kind of was like, what are you talking about? I don't have a problem. I'm fine. I can stop whenever I want. And then there was 14 more years of chaos.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so I was 36 when I stopped drinking and using. It was all going to end.
Oh,
so I had to
man.
stop.
And did you go to rehab?
No, I didn't. I got sober in America. And that was lucky because I was not around any of the social cues
Right.
that existed here.
Yep.
And so as long as I found myself a fellowship of men and women once a day, I was all right.
Wow.
And it was good. Yeah, it was real good. But I had to find my people.
Did you go through withdrawals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
bro, that's brutal, isn't it?
It was hard. Did you have that moment? Did you have that moment where, like that first one I'm talking about, where people went, hey man, partying's good and everything, and being a sick rapper is sick. What's all this stuff though? Did you have that moment? Do you remember that moment?
It was very interesting because like everyone knew me as like a massive party animal.
Yeah.
Like I would go on big benders and I would go for long benders and I would smash it. But that was mainly a weekend thing. People didn't realize that because I could not deal with the come down or the hangover, I was going to prescription pills like OxyContin and that. And they didn't know that. I was hiding that from everyone. So
It's
like
easy to hide, man.
Yeah. But it also got to the point where I thought I was real slick, but everyone was like, dude, something's going on with him. But
right.
people would say, man, I feel like something's happening and you need help. And I'd just be like, bro, I'm fine. And I would almost get angry kind of thing and be like, I'm fine, just I'm sweet, you know. I was in denial.
Yeah.
I was in a lot of denial. And then for my third album, we did like this big tour to promote it. And then I did a regional tour and I was completely hooked to OxyContin. And I was getting like 80 milligram tablets, one box a week. You know what I mean? It was 80 milligrams. So it was like the strongest you could get, which is made for people dying of cancer.
Jeez.
And I was like saying that I had a sore back.
Uh-huh.
But I was very manipulative. Like I was able to just turn it on and start crying in the doctor's office and stuff like that. And so I had this big regional tour coming up and I was like, okay, I'll go in there and I'll just stock up on all the prescriptions drugs. And I got all this stuff and I thought it was a week out from the tour and I was like, yeah, I'll keep this for the tour, and just went through it in a few days.
Good God.
And then it was like panicking, like, what do I do? So when I didn't have access to that, it was either heroin or it was Nurofen Plus, which is like codeine with
Ibuprofen.
Yeah. So I would just, man, and you could only get one box at a time. So I would go to different pharmacies and I was having 3 boxes of those.
Good God.
Just because my tolerance was so high.
What happened to your stomach?
Man, nothing's happened. It's crazy. This is crazy, bro.
That stuff could destroy you.
The eye and gut, man. But yeah, I was just like having 90 tablets, and that wouldn't even get me high. That was just so I wouldn't go through withdrawals.
Can we just talk about that for a second? Because what you're describing, for people who've never been in this space, they might just go, what are you two guys talking about? That sounds fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really I found, it changed for me understanding what addiction is, and particularly when it's other people who I know now that I'm on this side of it kind of go, oh, hang on, man, you're like, I care about you a lot and I'm trying to share this with you. Oh, don't evangelize to me. It's like, oh, mate. Oh, yeah. Having to understand, it really helped me understanding that those choices, they know full well how terrible it is, but it's the best choice they've got. Does that land on you? Does that, like, can you try to explain to people what's going on? Like, you know that it's bad, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the only choice. It's the only way to fix that feeling is to use. And it's like, I can remember, it would have been 7 or 8 years before this. It was simply just me going out and drinking after a show. I would have 2 tablets And that would I'd have 4 actually, and 4 would make me feel all glowy. And I'd be like, man, this is awesome. I can combat hangovers. And then that spiraled into 3 packets or like full boxes of OxyContin and all that. Like it just gets so beyond your reach that you're just striving for more, and it's just slowly destroying you. But it's like when I was in that moment, there wasn't any other option because I wasn't telling anyone as well.
Yeah.
Which is probably, I could have like been open about it and been put on drug replacement and I would have been fine. But I was just so, I hated being a burden to people.
Yeah.
And I just could not share that side of me because I was so ashamed of it.
Right.
I hated myself.
Shame really plays a huge part in like not going to get help, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, man. I just couldn't. It's like, and it's almost like I didn't believe I was that bad. Like I knew that I was. This is bad. This can't end well. But I'm just going to keep it pushing. And I felt like all that mattered to me was my career and keeping that in a good place. So if Matt was struggling and 360 was doing well, that was fine.
Right.
Matt could take. Didn't matter as long as it looked like 360 was going well. It wasn't even if 360 was going well. It was just as long as people perceived it that way. So in this tour, I was going around and getting all these Nurofen Plus boxes.
Regional GPs have never seen me.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had my regulars that I'd go to as well in Melbourne. So my whole suitcase, right? Half of it was full of clothes and the other half was just Nurofen Plus boxes. It was bad. And I was just doing the 3 boxes a day. I think it was like 4 shows in before the Byron Bay show. Everything was going really well. And I was like, man, I just want to feel something. So I did 4 boxes and then I just started convulsing on the floor and woke up in hospital. I was under suicide watch because they thought I tried to kill myself. They had my luggage. They opened up. They're like, what are you doing, man? And I was like, this is every day. Like they would not believe me that I was not trying to kill myself. And then they just handed me the phone and it's like, it's your mum. So I'm just like I didn't ask for you to call my parents. I was very angry. And then but I had to just come clean, you know? I was just like, look, I'm addicted to codeine and OxyContin and I think I need help. I've overdosed and just told them it was probably the most, one of the hardest things that I've put them through, you know? Like my parents are beautiful. Like they've been so supportive. They've shown unconditional love ever since I was a child. So, and my dad was a very strict, had very strict morals and integrity. And he raised me to never use drugs and to never drink or never party or anything like that. He's seen both his parents die from it, his brother. And then for me to then hide it from them and suddenly be like, hey, I'm a full-blown junkie and I've, that really, really rocked them. And to see the effect that had on them still plagues me, when I think about it.
But you're remembering the emotion that you felt and you've got a memory of the then version of you and the shame of that phone call.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important to, say, like my uncle used to always tell me, you only have to be brave for one breath. It took one breath of words to tell them. And you can do that. You can be brave enough and then just trust that you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll figure everything else out. All right. But by not taking that breath and not saying that one sentence, it could just get catastrophically worse.
Yeah. And it was a blessing.
Yeah, man.
Like it forced my hand because it wasn't going to do it otherwise.
Yeah, right. For me, it was prescription painkillers were a part of it.
Yeah.
Vicodin was a part of the last 10, 12 weeks of it.
Is that here or is that in
America?
America?
It was in the States.
Oh, right.
Man, they just
because these Vicodin
throw stuff at you.
What is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think you get it here. But
Right.
They just threw it. They just threw stuff at you over there.
Right.
It was just my GP. It wasn't, I'd done my knee and have these. And that is a slippery slope.
Oh, the feeling of it is.
It was far out, man. Because everything still hurt. I just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is dangerous. Once all that stuff's out of your system, but then you're faced with, oh, now I've got to be the person that I was trying to numb.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Now, whoa.
Then you're just confronted with all these emotions you've been escaping for so long, and they're just flooding you nonstop, and you can't escape it.
Yeah. What would you say to people about, the rationalizing that kind of a drug abuse around just trying to get away from those uncomfortable thoughts and feelings? What goes through your head?
The most cunning manipulation and lies, that it gets so out of control that you believe every lie you tell yourself. Like, the reason you've got to do it, you actually believe it, even though deep down you know you're lying. I remember someone that I met in rehab was like, you've got to be so honest with yourself and stop believing these lies for why you will keep using. And I, at the time, was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I was just brushing it off. Like, I'm good. I was always like, I'm good. Don't worry about it. And it kept happening, man, Like, I went to rehab 5 years ago in 2020 for like 4.5 months. And even, man, I was at the end of my rope. I was on methadone. I had put on so much weight and just was so unhealthy and unhappy that I got to the point where I was like, this is just I'm going to die 100%. I'm pretty much dead anyway. Like, I'm a living corpse, And I was so done with it. I was over it. I was like, I need to get my life together. But even when I went into rehab, then I was still doing it, man, in rehab. Like, how it's so frowned upon when you're in rehab to be saving up your medication and taking all at once and stuff like that.
God.
Like, I was still doing that, and I was still putting on that lie to everyone that I was there for the right reasons. Like, I was a full-blown actor, man. Like,
wow, yeah.
It was despicable. It was really, really gross. And looking back on it, you just see like, well, man, I lost sight of who I was completely, and it was just this projection that I thought.
You had a bunch of neural pathways firing in order. You were no longer making choices at that point.
Nah.
Those choices are pre-programmed by then. And it's having the willingness to make different choices enough times that they become the automatic choices. Because otherwise the automatic choices will take over every single time. You can say, oh, I'm not going to have any tonight, or I'll just have one, and forget about it.
Yep.
Once your reward system is dysregulated, you can no longer make a choice about it. And even though you've promised everybody, and you're like, no, that was the last time. And I know I won't get up. I won't destroy the place this time. Doesn't matter. Once that starts, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And which is also what man, I'm sure you did the same thing, but I tried to dry out. I tried to, cut down. I tried to do all these things on my own terms, like get a couple of days, get a couple of weeks together, and then like that.
Yeah.
Like back.
You drop your guard just once.
Mate, the spinnaker is up and we're away. Let's fucking go. Sail to the wind, boys. Straight ahead till morning. Let's go. And then you're like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I'm back here again. I can't stop it. Yeah. It's really, really hard. I remember reading that Anthony Kiedis book, Scar Tissue, and he's talking about breaking out of rehab. And at the time, I'm like, I just didn't get it. Like, can't you see that everyone's really worried you're going to die? But it makes sense. Like, when the ego is that out of control, and your self-will is that over the top, it's not a choice. You can't decide to not be that. It's really hard. You actually have to get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm down here in the gutter because I put me down here in the gutter. And the only way I can get up from the gutter is if I get myself up. I can't ask anybody else to do it for me. That's the only, and it sucks waiting for that in other people. It's really hard.
Man, that's a very difficult thing when you've made that choice. Well, you flick that switch and like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to help people get to that place and they just can't. It's so painful to watch, but you feel it because you were there.
Doesn't work. And you would have been in rehab with people that were pushed in there, forced in there. It's really hard. You see your parents just blow their entire super on trying to get their kid clean. It's really hard, man, because I'd do anything to save my children,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's fucking awful.
Man, and it's interesting you bring up that scar tissue book. I remember reading that when I was probably like 17 or something and had the same experience. I was like, I didn't understand how bad it was, but I read that book and just completely romanticized the idea of being, one, a rock star, but also a heroin addict. Like, I thought that was enticing if it was coupled together. Like, if it was the addict without the rock star, then I thought that was gross. But together, I thought there was something beautiful about it, which is disgusting, really, really sick. And so when I came into a lot of money after the music started going off, I was like, I can do it now. Like, I can actually do it. And I never actually considered that when you do cross the line into addiction, it's like you unleash this demon inside of you that you can never put back in the cage properly. Like you have to, like, it's not just like you can just go, okay, I'm done. That was something that I never realized. It's that once you cross that line, you can't go back, and you have to spend the rest of your life taming that beast.
Yeah, but who we get to be because of that, we get to live the rest of our life as a giant killer.
Warriors.
Totally, man. Like nobody understands what everybody else is trying to go through in their day, right? But many of the things that I do to keep my head on straight are so automatic, I don't really think about it much anymore. But if I was to really break it down, it's like, well, I do spend a lot of time, a lot of cognitive load going on. Yeah. That's okay. It's just what I get to do because it gives me the life I have, and I like the life I have. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's better than the other option. I don't know about you, but when I first got into recovery programs, I really struggled with the higher power thing.
Really?
At first, I really struggled.
Right, because is that because you didn't believe in a higher power? Or was it the way they were portraying it?
It was because of the kind of school I went to and my experiences with the Catholic Church growing up.
Right.
And the kind of things that have since come to light, which were going on and we were witness to. I was like, there's got to be something more than this. No, I don't get this. I'm not here for it. And I was fine with that. But then realizing that I needed to be humble before something to make it work, I couldn't do that thing. I found a way around it, which I'll tell you in a sec, but I'm like wondering what was your experience getting in there, being told, because what is the disease of? It's the disease of the ego. The ego is bigger than anything, and therefore nobody else matters, nothing else matters. I'm the only thing that matters. And that's why you make dumb decisions like I'm going to gamble my children's future away or whatever. But you have to be humble before something for it to work, and you've got to choose something to be humble before. And I couldn't deal with all the God language.
I had a lot of almost allergic reactions to any, if just the word God. I would be happy to call it universe or something like that. Yeah. Or anything other than God. Any mention of Jesus, I was like, no, I don't want to hear that either. It was, and even sin, like it all just came with so much baggage. I was so heavily against religion that any mention of those things would just be like an instant wall up, you know? Yeah. I didn't go through the program, the NA. I did try it sometimes and I felt like it probably would have helped, but it was just some issues that were happening at the groups that I was going to. Yeah. The lack of anonymity, I guess, you know?
Yeah. They forgot the here part. You know, who you see here, what you hear here, let it stay here. Here. You forgot all that shit, guys. Yeah. Come on, remember that bit?
Yeah, man. And I was so, like, I wanted to share a lot of dark stuff, but it was just my trust. Yeah, it was I just feel like if I say this, it's just going to get out there or something. Real hard. You know? But man, interesting talking about God.
You understand why I asked that question.
Yeah.
What was it? What was it that took you from stuff you and all your God and Jesus stuff, get out of here, not interested, get out, I'm fine, and where you are now, like, don't let me swear at gigs, put money in a swear jar.
Mm.
Like, I'm imagining it wasn't a flick of a switch, but I'm assuming it was I mean, tell me, was it a slow process? What happened?
Yeah, when I got out of rehab, I was still slipping. I was like, I've got to sort my life out, but it was in the middle of the lockdowns. I was just sitting on my phone all day, and I was still going through withdrawals, I think, from the methadone or one of the medications I was on. And it was just so bad, man. It was to the point where I was like, okay, what can I do? All I want to do is just maybe go to the pub and drink it away. But my parents were living at my joint. So I was like, if I do that, they're going to know, and I can't put them through that. So I was just drinking Listerine, which has alcohol in it. And I was just necking that, just having probably 2 mouthfuls. And then that would kind of give me that numb feeling. And I was like, surely this can't be good, Googled it. And it was like, if you drink this alcohol, you can go blind, So I was very quickly like, okay, I've got to cut this out. And just went to the doctor and said, look, this is what's happening, which is progress.
Yeah.
Which it might not seem like it. For me, that is a lot of progress.
Yeah, it's huge.
And I was just overweight, started trying to figure my life out. I was dealing with a lot of trying to, when you get off all these drugs like we were talking about before, and it's like you suddenly got to embrace that person you've been trying to escape.
Mate.
And I'd been escaping him probably since 21 or something like that.
Yeah,
and I was 35.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know the values that I stood for. And like I really wanted to figure out who I was. That was my mission. So I started working with a life coach, and he just started helping me, especially with the people pleasing. I was someone who would dodge confrontation. I would never stand up for myself. I would always just keep it in, because I had this fear that if I said what I truly thought, people would abandon me and I'd be left alone. So he started, basically it was like putting training wheels on for a grown-up man to become a proper man, and started teaching me how to say the thing I haven't been saying, started just doing it in text message or an email, not in person because I was too scared. And then it just has slowly evolved into actually standing up for myself and just saying the truth. But in this process, he was like, dude, have you prayed before? Like, do you believe in God? Like, what's your thoughts? And I was like, look, I believe that there's something, 100% believe that, but I am very anti-religion. I'm not interested in that. And he was like, that's fine, because he's from an NA background, and he was like, you can make it whatever you want, take bits from any religion.
Be quick to see where religious people are right, is what the book says. Yeah.
Yeah. Take the bits that work for you. Yeah. That was it. When he asked me though, he said, have you prayed before? And I was like, and actually, when I was a child, I remember I used to pray all the time. I used to believe in God. I used to believe that God had my back and loved me, and everything was going to work out, and it always did. But this was when I was very young, and I didn't even know where this came from because my parents aren't religious or anything like that. But I remember life being I think it was just the innocence and the purity of being a child. I remember everything just being so good back then. And I told him that, and he's like, just start praying to whatever you believe the higher power that created everything. Start developing a relationship with that energy, because it's a personal God, and your life will change. And I started doing that, but it was very much very self-focused in the sense of like, can you bring back my career and make me rich and bring back my status as a rapper and all? It was all just how.
Like a Bugatti, not a blue one.
Yeah.
A purple one, please. And can you make Queensland win the state of origin again?
Yeah. Do all these things for me, please,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Like an all-you-can-eat kind of thing.
Because you owe me.
Yeah. It was very inward.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, my best mate Pez, he had just it was the middle of COVID. He felt like something was telling him to get out of Melbourne, and go to the Sunshine Coast. So him and his
I don't think he was alone there. A number of people heard that.
There's a huge migration of Melbourneites.
Yeah.
And he moved up there for 6 months, and then randomly I get this call and he's gotten baptized. He's had this profound experience. He wasn't exploring Christianity or anything like that. He was looking for it, but didn't know what he was looking for.
Yeah.
And then had this profound experience and got baptized at his first church service. And I was like, oh no, like what is going on? He must have lost his mind or something. Started mocking it. I was very happy for him because he was like clearly changed in so many different ways. Then he felt like it was God telling him to come back to Melbourne, like something he had unfinished business or something like that. And he moved back and we started hanging out and we would have these discussions. I was like, this is my version of God, you know? And he would talk about, well, this is our understanding of it. And we would have these really cool chats about it. And he was radically different in such a short amount of time. Like he had been struggling with people pleasing like I had, a lot of mental health stuff as well, like I had. And then it was just like he was instantly cured of it. I was like, okay, maybe there is something to this. And he was saying, dude, everything you know God to be, parts of it are so true, but it goes so much deeper. Like if you go into this with an open mind, just to seek the truth, it'll blow your mind. So as soon as he said that, I was just like, yeah, all right, I'll go in. And I've always been all or nothing. So I just went to town, probably been about 3 years or 2 years since that happened. And that wall was just so high, man. And I didn't think I was ever going to get there. I was like, I'm just too cynical. I could never believe in this. There was so many doubts, but then over time, the more I just immersed myself in scripture, the more I started praying, and especially when the prayers started becoming less about myself and more about people around me and wanting to, I guess, like praying for like anyone I come in contact with, that they would have a good day and be blessed and feel the love of God in their life and stuff like that. It was just, rather than it being about me, it was an outward thing. And that wall came down over about 1.5 years. And then once that wall completely came down and I believed in the gospel of Jesus Christ and his story and his teachings, it's like everything changed after that. Yeah, I gave myself to God in the sense that like we're talking about with the something else other than you. It felt like instantly that ability to lie to myself and manipulate myself was gone. Because like, for example, I was smoking medicinal cannabis. I was just vaping it.
It's fine. I heard about this in a Cypress Hill song. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
This is all fine.
Yeah, man. I was doing that and it was helping me to write my music. That was the excuse.
Oh, it was helping me to write my music.
Yeah. It would lock me in to be creative. And I would churn out all these raps in like 1.5 hours. But then after that 1.5 hours, my head would go crazy. I would start overthinking everything. I was anxious. I was paranoid. But it was worth it for the music. It was like, that whole...
But would you say those drugs were allowing you to access like those things are not creating something within you? I would argue that those drugs are allowing you to access a thing that has always been there and is there and is the reason you have the career you have, but it's helping bypass perhaps some of the psychological blockages
100%.
That are in the way.
It was dropping my guard or like dropping that fence.
And now it's learning about how to access that creativity.
Yep.
Without that.
Yes.
That's the great lie of, it's for my art. Yeah.
It was that whole thing of just being willing to sacrifice my own happiness, my own mental health, my self-esteem for my career, because that was so just the only thing that mattered to me. It was that same thing. And then as soon as I gave my life to God, it was like I just knew that it was wrong and I couldn't do it anymore. And there was one time where I was like, maybe I can do it if I just do it a little bit, and that's it.
Just
and
a
it was
tip.
like
Just a tip.
Yeah, it was just the tip. It was that, and I had usually if I was just the tipping a bit of weed, it would have a slight effect. And this because I feel like because I'd kind of made this agreement with God. As soon as I did that, I was just panic attack, like on the floor, like breathing so heavily and just like being, I promise I will never do this again.
Right.
And then from there just stopped. And after I was on like all these drugs, like just medications and stuff. And since then I've gotten off a majority of them. Like I'm nearly off everything. I'm on like 4 milligrams of diazepam still. For the last few tours that I've done over the last probably 4 years, I was still taking Valium before.
Jeez, man, I don't know how you do that. Like when I went through one phase where I had to get off a whole bunch of different meds and do a week with nothing. Here's some Valiums, and I know me and Prince Valium, we fucking go way back. I got the script, I went home and I gave the bottle to my wife, and I said, "Don't tell me where it is. If you think I need one, you give one to me. But if I ask you for one, don't give one to me."
Wow.
Because I know what I am.
Yeah.
All right. I empty a minibar when I check it. I get them take the minibar out of the room when I check in a hotel. Because I'm not going to do it, but I know that, like I said, there's a thing inside me that, given the chance, will destroy the world that I've built. And I'm not going to give it that chance. All right. And that's okay. That's okay, because the life I get to live because of it is amazing. And I like my life. So I don't know how to fuck you go on the road with that in your pocket, man. That's fucking intense.
And the fact that I was doing it before going on stage, you know, but it was only 10 milligrams, but it was enough to become a crush.
It's only 10 milligrams.
Like it was.
No, I understand. No, I'm just giving you shit. I'm just, no. I trust completely that you are able to access these things in a way that I am not. That's basically what I'm saying.
Oh, no. I wouldn't say that.
That you are trusted to, you can trust yourself to go on the road with this thing, and the people around you know that it's there, and your tour manager and stuff like that.
They didn't know it was there.
I didn't know it was there.
No, I was still just, this is before God. Right. So I was like meant to be using him for sleep, but because I needed to not feel nervous on stage, I was like, well, I'll just have them before. And my excuse was that, well, they last so long, I was just getting ahead of it, you know? Like by the time I finish, it'd be 10:30, and then I'll be groggy in the morning if I take it then.
Addiction will decide everything for you.
Dude.
Well before you've had a chance to think about it.
It's, this cunning little beast though, isn't it?
Baffling and powerful, I believe.
Man, and even probably 4 months ago, I was like, I'll still use Valium on this next tour coming up. And then I've just felt God was saying, I couldn't hear him audibly, but just felt like it was in here saying, not anymore.
Right.
So this tour next week, it kicks off. No Valiums, which I'm actually really excited for. I know I'm going to have that moment of being like, oh, I wish I had it here, but I feel so much more at ease, and it's because of God.
You have the life you have the career you have because you have a fan base that has engaged with you, and they have willingly given over their hard-earned money to buy your merch, you know, pay for your tickets to your shows. I would say buy your records, but that doesn't make an artist any money. If you like the band, buy their T-shirt. This could have been a private thing for you. Tell me about the choice to start speaking about it, because this could have, and you know, this is the world we live in, but this could have financial implications on you to speak like this. Have you started engaging with fans? Have you have been able to speak with people, and have you had those moments yet?
I've had a lot of people just turn instantly.
Yeah.
As soon as I started sharing about my faith, it was like, man, I remember the week I actually go, okay, I actually believe now. Lost thousands instantly, and I got a lot of hostile messages and DMs and stuff like that.
Thousands of followers, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it. Like, it wasn't like I was hurt, because I used to reacting the exact same way. So I completely understand it. And I know how jarring it is, you know, like it's really jarring when someone suddenly all they can talk about is Jesus, and it's like the cure for everything, you know? I get that. Like I remember right before my wall dropped, I was like, why do they have to make it their whole personality? And now I'm like realizing why, you know, it's what worship does. That's when you worship something, it becomes your whole personality. And before I worshipped pleasure and hedonism and sex and drugs and stuff like that, you know? And I think what I expected a lot more hostility. I expected it to ruin my career. Like, I honestly thought that it was going to really hurt my ticket sales and stuff like that. But I've been really surprised with how many people have stuck by me, even though they might not see eye to eye with me where I'm at spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really kind of heartwarming, man, to have so much support and have people like, even though they might dislike how open I'm being and how much I'm talking about it, I think they can see that I was desperate. You know, I've struggled so much, and this has been the answer, the best thing that's happened to me in
If
regards.
that's what works, you know, that's what works for you. I'd rather have you alive and contributing to the culture of our country. You know, what gets you there, it's your business, man. That's me now. But I'm 51. You know, it was like 20 years ago, this would not have been this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have gone the full Sam Harris on you. I would have been like, you know. But thankfully, I've had enough experience in sobriety to understand different things work for different people. All right. It's not to say that rehab or, you know, addiction treatment is also not without its flaws. It is. It's, you know, a deeply flawed place, full of deeply flawed people. All of community is a deeply flawed place full of deeply flawed people trying to be better, right? What gets you from there to a place where your brain's starting to work better again? Mate, if that works, that works.
Also, the training and being fit has been so crucial.
Tell me about that. Tell me about how that came into your life. You said you were overweight when you...
Mate.
Because I know that, man. I was on 2 different kinds of antipsychotics. I was putting on 1 kilo a week, all right? Because it messes with your insulin response. And I was riding 250, 300 Ks a week on my bicycle. I'm still putting on weight.
Whoa.
Right? And I talked to my psychiatrist, like, man, I've got to go back and do this season of The Bachelor. I'm down to track pants. Like, what are we going to do? He's like, well, you know, I could make all the shit in your head stop, but you'd put on 20 kilos. I'm like, I can't do that. So I just had to fucking deal with it. It was fucking hard. So tell me about that. Tell me how that came into your life, because you describe a life that doesn't involve a lot of, you know, bench presses.
Oh, man. And being on, I think it was Seroquel.
Yeah, I was on that.
Which was like, the munchies I would get on that were crazy.
Does the job. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a really good drug for what it does. It, as advertised.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when the benefits and the side effects start to...
Man. And I was like, because I was so depressed, sugar became like a way of alleviating it or something. Yeah. So like when I would have those munchies, I would have bags of Skittles and just shove them into my mouth during the night and just fall asleep just chewing on them and that. It was like, I was like 120 kilos. So I was 35 kilos heavier.
Wow. It's the buying the new clothes that you just get reminded of, like, oh man, I really am getting fat here.
Yeah, bro.
I have to get new jeans every couple of weeks.
Man, I couldn't even look at myself.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever get like that where you couldn't look yourself in the eye?
It's actually, you know, I'm only remembering this now. I remember sitting in my apartment in Venice and like I only saw my head in the mirror. I didn't see my body.
Oh, wow.
Didn't see my body getting out of the shower.
Whoa.
It just like it wasn't there.
Wow.
Just, it's only now as I'm sitting here telling you, like, far out. Yeah, I remember that.
Whoa. Do you think that's denial?
Oh, it was my brain just trying to protect itself from whatever else was going on.
Yeah.
I was in Weight Watchers when I was 8. All right. So there's a long history here.
Brother.
The long history here. So tell me about the training. Like what?
Yeah, so it was COVID, man. I was like, I knew I'd done, after I did my first detox, I got out and I was like training and I was so fit and I got in a really good shape and it was the best I'd ever felt. And I remember mum and dad were just like mad impressed. They were like, you're glowing. Like, what is going on here? This is awesome. So then when I got out of rehab 5 years ago, it was like I was just sitting in bed all day. It was lockdowns, so we couldn't really do anything. But mum was always saying like, hey, you know, why don't you get back into the gym? Remember how good you used to feel? And she'd always just come and say it in such a kind of gentle way. And I was like, I know. And just had no motivation to do it. I just could not bring myself to do it. Even just brushing my teeth and having a shower. I was trying to go as long as I could without doing those things.
Mate, I know what that's like. I would have to write my list the day before of the things I'm going to do the next day. Because if I didn't write my list, it wouldn't happen.
Right.
And this is how granular it was. Turn off alarm, swing out of the bed, put my feet on the floor, have a pee.
That detailed.
I had to. Because otherwise I would just be like, oh, the choice, the decisions. Like everything meant everything. And it was the weight of my entire rest of my life rested on what T-shirt I would put on.
Wow.
And I wouldn't leave the house.
Wow.
If I wrote it the day before, though, when I wasn't in that pressure state, I was like, oh, I'll just do the next thing on my list. And that's what helped me. Oh, I understand that, mate. Like, I absolutely understand that. It's not, people might be listening going, put on a fucking shirt.
Yeah.
Brush
Have a
your teeth.
shower. Have a
Just do
shower. There.
Like, you don't understand, man.
Yeah. Like in that moment, it was the hardest thing ever.
I get it.
It's really hard to explain, but
I get it.
I remember I was so terminally online during this time. I think it was 14 hours a day just on my phone.
Ooh, a lot of dopamine, a lot of serotonin, just a little bit, just a squirt.
Just an escape, the whole thing. And I was on Twitter and I scrolled across, I think his name's Scott Adams. He was like a cartoonist or something. And he was like, if you're struggling with motivation, this will fix it. And I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. Let's have a look. And he goes, all you have to do is commit to doing one push-up a day. Everyone can do that. If you just commit to that now, you're on your way. So I was like, okay, I'll do that, commit to it. And he goes, but when you're down there, you might as well do as many as you can. And then once you've done that, you might as well do 3 sets of that. So I started doing that and it worked. It's like I manipulated myself or gaslit myself into slowly developing a routine or a habit of doing this exercise. So after like 6 months, it went from just doing like 20 push-ups 3 times to like doing full body workout with bands and all that, and started feeling better. Like, oh, this is weird. It's like my whole life has been grayscale for so long and suddenly the color's coming back.
Yeah.
And it's like, Then I'm back in the gym and I'm like intermittent fasting and dialing my diet, and then out of nowhere I was like skinny again, and it was like I've felt back.
Yeah.
It's like I felt like myself.
Well, we're
again.
designed to lift, we're designed to move, and when we exercise like that, like what you're describing, I like to talk about it like we're giving our body the gift of the neurotransmitters and the hormones that we need to shift mood states throughout the day. They don't get released if we're not moving properly. All right. We don't have enough serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. We don't have those things if we're not trained, if we're not moving, because we're designed to run around and hunt for food and pick berries and, have dances and
be in the sun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're indoors and you're just that in your bed.
We don't work properly like that. And that shit's free. That shit's free. And also what you described there is the version, it's that one push-up thing. That's really all sobriety is like, can you do the next 5 minutes? Great. When you get to 4.5, could you do the next 5? Probably. That's all it is. That is literally all it is. Can you be willing to be with the discomfort of just, you may as well. You got this far. Can you get to bed without it now? Great. Do the same thing tomorrow. That's just break it down to the most granular step you can. Yeah. Because that's easy. That's doable.
Yeah. Just one little minute step at a time. And then over like 6 months, you've developed a habit.
And it starts to reform our identity about who we are. You've gone from, Matt, the sick party animal, to he's fucking ripped. Look at the rig on him. Because, I'm the kind of guy that does lots of push-ups and does lots of air squats and does lots of burpees. I feel better when I do it. What do you like if you don't train these days?
I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can definitely feel it. But I think just with where my faith is at now, I feel just I've never been in a better place.
Yeah, right.
And like I had one moment where I was like, it got extreme anxiety to the point where it was like, okay, this is where I'm going to use. And it was overwhelming, man. It was like it was that I've had like a bottle in my drawer just sitting there, and like instantly just started praying and was just like, it was full on. It was like not like a usual prayer where I would just speak, but it was like shouting, know what I mean? It was like I'm letting it out, like this emotional kind of primitive kind of just letting it out. And it was like speaking to a psychologist, but with the most brutal honesty, and it just went away, man. And anytime I'm feeling it now, I'm going into prayer, and that's becoming the vice, which is so surprising. I never thought I'd get here, but just so glad that I am.
Why did you use the word vice? Like, are you concerned that it could...
Maybe vice isn't the right word. Outlet.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's what I'll turn to now instead of anything else. But though, if I wake up, like if I have a late night, even if it's just after 11 o'clock, I wake up feeling really seedy, man. Like I don't feel good. If I'm in that state, I will go and just destroy myself at the gym. Like do 45 minutes to an hour of really, really intense cardio. And when I do that, I feel like I've slept properly after that. And I do Wim Hof breath work after that too. And then I just feel so good. Like the Wim Hof has been amazing, man.
It's good stuff.
I did Bliss and Esso were playing at the Forum, which is the same place that I'm playing at next Friday.
It's a big room. It's middle of Melbourne.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
They wanted me to jump up and do a song with them, and this was like, if I was like, this is like a good way to feel it out, see what the nerves are like, see if I'm like hanging for the Valium or whatever. And I was very nervous. I didn't want to be there. It was late. I wanted to go to bed. But I just went into the breath work. I did like 30 minutes of it. And then it's like it just rerouted that anxiety and turned it into excitement.
Yeah. Fritz Perl, one of the fathers of psychology, fear is excitement without the breath. Yeah.
Never heard that before.
That's all it is.
It's
the same thing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. How you frame the sensation.
Wow.
I say it to my son, like he's just started playing touch, and he'll be out there. Like if he's in their house, right, and he bumps into the couch and hits his shin, he'll be like, on the ground, and it's on. It's like If he's out there playing touch and he's trying to score a try, and someone bangs his shin, like, whatever, it's the same sensation, but it's in the service of I'm trying to score a try. He's 5, right? But you know what I mean? It's what do we have? We have the ability, when we've got a bit more space in our brains, breathing helps that part, is to just choose how to frame the sensation that we're dealing with. And how did you go? You got on the mic and you
crushed it.
Yeah, of course you did.
I was just, in my element up there,
When you're thinking now about this tour that you're about to go on, when you think about what do you want from being on stage, we spoke about this at the start of a conversation. It's ultimately connecting. You're connecting with the person. You're connecting with the crowd, and you're creating something together. Better crowd is, better you are. Better you are, better crowd is. Like you build something together, and that's why this show is no as good as it. Different from that show, different from that show, different from that show. And the different flavour of the crowd will change how the performance is, and they're going to see something no one else is ever going to see ever again. What are your thoughts about getting on stage and engaging with that crowd without all those layers between you and them? The layers of whatever was going on in your bloodstream. And
I'm very keen. I'm very excited to see how it goes. But there's that feeling of like, you're going to be nervous. You're going to be a bag of nerves before this, which could happen. But I feel like if I just do my little routine, like that breath work beforehand, maybe I might feel a bit stiff and a bit self-conscious during the first few songs, but then I feel like I'll lock in. That's always been the case in the past. If I've ever been like, okay, I've got butterflies here. Just once you get going, it's just like you just break into it, into the flow of it, I guess.
I think, if people are coming to see you, they're definitely aware of who you are. And people are buying a ticket because they know where you are. They know your story. A lot of people no doubt, have engaged with you and the music you're making because of your story and that have similarities with them or someone they love. And I would put it to you that even if you have to stop track in the middle and goes, guys, I'm fucking shitting myself here, they will have you. They will embrace you. And they'll be happy to do so. And you'll have a moment together.
That's true. Yeah, I think owning it is smart.
You already are.
It's been so many times throughout my career where I was hiding it. But I think just being authentic with what is happening is the way through it, you know? And I think what you just said is a really good point. Like, I don't need to hide that either, you know? Just own it and embrace it. And I'm sure they'll connect with that too. Like, they'll relate to that.
And it's fucking cool what you're doing, man, because there's this story that you're saying, it didn't exist when I was a young man. All right. This conversation between two men, I never heard when I was in those, 14 years from when someone said, hey, what the fuck is this about? As they were, pulling vomit-covered hair out of my mouth. I had long hair at the time. And, finally when I realised, no, I'm going to have to stop this. I never heard this conversation. Whether I was capable of hearing it or not, I don't know. But I didn't hear this conversation. People have no idea the dragons you've had to slay to be here today. All right? Anyone that is living on the other side of the sort of stuff you've been describing is a fucking giant killer. And that's more powerful, more amazing, more strong than it. To be honest, numbing it.
100%.
And I know you're not trying to not swear at the moment, but I'll say it for you. You fucked a lot of them. You can outsource your swearing to me if you like. I'm happy to do it. I appreciate you coming in today, man. I'm really grateful to connect with you and have a chat.
Likewise.
It was
we
really
spoke
nice.
about doing it ages ago.
Yeah, we did. You could have chosen to not be as open with me as you did, but I'm grateful that you did.
Thank you, man.
And I hope people can hear that. It's important to have these kind of chats. I'm grateful you did.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.